Hi, hello, welcome to our Vinyasa yoga session for our Mindful Moments course for May. We're going to get started, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're going to start right now at the top of your mat. So bringing your, which way are you going to go?
That
way, that's fine. So just bringing your big toes together and finding a small gap between your heels. We're going to start off in a really nice grounding pose, closing down your eyes, pressing your feet down into the mat, coming into Tadasana or mountain pose. Okay, so as we stand in our mountain pose, we're just going to start off thinking about our foundation. So begin with thinking about your feet and notice 3 points of contact on your feet that you're going to press into the floor equally. So your big toe mound, your little toe mound and your heel on each foot, and press those down. Then we're going to work our way up. I want you to just engage your kneecaps slightly so we start to warm up and engage the quadricep muscles. Press your tailbone down towards the floor and you'll notice that you can draw your belly in and up. Lift your chest. Visualize your shoulder blades now and just draw them down your spine towards your hips. And you'll notice your shoulders move away from the ears and your neck lengthens. And then shine the crown of your head towards the ceiling or the sky. Lovely. And in this mountain pose, we're just going to be thinking about our theme for this week, which is the beginner's mind. So considering curiosity as you move through your practice. What can your body do today? How does your body feel today? And then taking that curiosity off of the mat with you. Take a breath in through the nose, and as you exhale, just begin to allow the eyes to float open. Breathe in again and take those arms over your head, and as you exhale, bring the arms down by your side. Breathing in again, stretch tall, and breathing out, bring the arms down by your side. So we're just starting to link the movement with the breath. Breathing in, stretch tall, look up. As the palms touch, breathe out and bring those arms down. Let's add on, breathe in and stretch tall. And this time as you breathe out, dive forward, bending your knees, flattening your spine, and come to Uttanasana or forward fold. Again, the crown of your head shining towards the floor. Your knees can remain soft, and we're just noticing that lovely opening and stretch through the lumbar spine. Take a breath in here. And breathe out, allowing that belly to come onto your thighs. Breathe in and come up nice and tall, lengthening the spine as you breathe in and lift. Palms come together, look up. And then breathing out as you move back to Tadasana. Hands can come through heart center, palms face forward. Let's add on again. Take a breath in, stretch up nice and tall. And breathe out, fold forward, softening the knees. Uttanasana. Breathe in, come up halfway, this time Ardha Uttanasana. We're pressing the hips back and lengthening the spine. Breathe out and sink down. Breathe in and come all the way up to standing. Just linking that breath to the movement, starting to be more mindful. Breathe out as you move back into Tadasana, mountain pose. Breathe in and stretch tall, look up. Breathe out and dive forward. Breathe in and come up halfway. Breathe out and sink. This time we're going to take it a step further. Place your hands onto the mat, and you might need to really bend your knees in order to do that. And just fan your fingers out to the side of the mat and press all 10 fingertips down as if you're gripping the mat, and then step back into your high plank. And what that does is it helps us bring some of the weight out of the wrists. So really press down through your knuckles and your fingertips, and then just lowering your hips and pressing right back into your heels. Then draw the weight forward over your hands. Draw the belly up, hold it there. This is a really dynamic pose. Kneecaps engaged, so we're working into quadriceps. Take a breath in here. As you breathe out, lower the knees. And then you're just going to rotate your triceps to face the front of the mat and bend your elbows in towards your rib cage. Your biceps towards the front of the mat. and then lift. Let's do that again. Breathe in as you lower down, biceps forward, triceps lifting up behind, and push up. Let's go all the way down now to the floor. Unhook the toes, press the tops of your feet down into the mat, engage the knees again. This time we're going to go up into a baby cobra, so just shining that chest forward towards the front of the mat. And what we're trying to do is really lengthen through the spine. So rather than crunching down into the lower back, you're trying to press that spine long forward. Breath in, breath out and sink down. And then push yourself back up into all fours or tabletop position. And then lift the hips and come to your first downward facing dog. And you might want to take a step forward so it becomes nice and stable. And just walk through the legs this first dog, easing out any tension in your hamstrings behind the thigh. And use your breath to help you just ease into that stretch. And then find stillness. So we're just going to hold it here, pressing your heels towards the floor, keeping your knees as soft as they need to be. And then imagine I've come and I've grabbed hold of your hips and I'm pulling your hips up towards the ceiling, out of your hip sockets and away from the shoulders. So it's a nice long spine and pressing the spine through. Soften your elbows for me and shine the crown of your head towards the floor. Just pause there for 2 more rounds of breath in downward facing dog. And remember, we're going to try breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. 1 more round of breath. Now we're going to bend the knees generously and look forward towards the front of the mat, bending your knees, and then just take a step or 2 to meet the front of the mat. Now again, we go back to having our big toes together and a slight gap through the heels. Breathe in and come up halfway. Breathe out and sink. And then breathe in and come up all the way to standing. Palms meet above your head as you look up. Breathe out and come down through your heart center to mountain pose. And we're just going to hold it there. Notice how your body feels after that first flow. Bring your attention inwards. And we're going to go through that 1 more time with a little bit more pace. So deep breath in, stretch tall. Breathe out and dive forward. Breathe in, come up halfway. Breathe out and sink. Step back into your high plank on that 1 outward breath. Breathe in and move yourself forward and lower yourself. So knees down first. Press yourself down onto your belly. And breathe in to come straight up into a back bend. So we did a baby cobra before. If you want to, you can move your hands back slightly and lift it up into a full cobra. Again, we're really trying not to crunch through that lower back. So lifting the chest, pressing forward, pressing the feet down. Breath in here, breath out to sink, and push yourself back into your downward facing dog, coming through your tabletop, lifting your hips, outward breath as you get there. Nice. And 2 more rounds of breath once we're here. So breathing in through the nose, just softening those elbows. Breathing out through the nose. Lovely. Okay, so bend the knees generously, look to the top of the mat and see if you can take 1 step forward this time. Big toes together, heels gap. Breathe in and lift up halfway. Breathe out and sink. Taking your own time, breathing in, come up all the way to standing. Hands come up, they touch through heart center and into Tadasana. Just closing down your eyes for 1 round of breath. Notice how you feel. Come back to that beginner's mind as we move into our next flow. Opening your eyes, press your hips back and we find ourselves in chair pose now. So remember, with our chair pose, we're really challenging the quadriceps, challenging into the glutes. I want you to tuck the tail under and pull the belly in. So we're also really working into our core muscles here. Shoulder blades slide down the spine. And just looking forward, or you can tilt your chin and look up slightly. Pressing into the heels. 1 more round of breath here. Really challenging this dynamic move, and then fold forward. Nice, lovely. Stretch out the legs. Breathe in and come up halfway. Breathe out and sink. Let's take a step back into our high plank again. Pause here. So heels press back, weight comes forward so your shoulders are over your wrists. Draw your belly in. And then lower your knees. Turn your biceps towards the front, elbows in towards your rib cage, and lower yourself all the way down and then up into your back bend. So remember, you've got a baby cobra, or you can lift up into full cobra, and you're really listening to your body. What does it feel it needs right now? And then lower yourself down, bring yourself back up into tabletop and into downward facing dog. Stepping yourself forward, finding stillness. Take a breath in here. We're going to push down into the left leg and lift the right leg up behind you as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, draw that knee towards the chest and step all the way through. We're going to settle ourselves for warrior one. So we're going to take our time with this first one. Drop the back heel down and at an angle and draw the belly in. Now you're trying at this point to push both feet down equally into the floor. Remember, there's that tendency to bring all the weight into this front leg. So you want to even that weight out, pressing down into both equally. And that way we engage our legs. So just check that your knee is over your ankle. Press through the feet and then just allow your upper body to float up into warrior one. Arms can come above. And you're just going to check that your shoulders are towards the front of the mat, and so too are your hips. So in this position, there's a tendency for that hip to pull forward. We're going to pull it right back so that they're in line. That's really lovely. Take a breath in there. And as you breathe out, bring your hands back down and we go through our flow again. So step back into your high plank. Breathe out as you lower. Elbows towards the rib cage, knees down. Breathe in as you come up into your back blend, and breathe out as you lower and come down and up into your downward facing dog. Pause. Press down through the right leg this time. We're going through the other side. So lift the leg, breathe in, breathe out as you draw in towards the chest, and then step through. Holding it there, we challenge ourselves to pause and not race through. So both feet pressing down equally. Back heel goes into the mat. Check the front knees over the ankle and then just allow that body to lift up, light as air. Check your shoulders and your hips are facing the front of the mat. Nice. Deep breath in here. Again, a nice strong dynamic pose, warrior one. One more round of breath. Breathing in, breathing out and lower, and go through your flow. So stepping back, lowering yourself to the floor. If you want to do it with your knees lifted now, that's absolutely fine. Come into your back bend of your choice. And remember, that might be different each time. So really listening to your body. And lower. And then come up into your downward facing dog. Outward breath to ease into it. And just pause and find stillness. Hips are lifted, elbows soften. Lengthening through the spine by drawing those shoulder blades up towards the hips. One more round of breath here. Bending your knees generously, look to the top of the mat and step, walk or hop to the top. Forward fold. So just allowing that crown of your head to face towards the floor, belly onto the thighs. Knees can be as soft as they need to be. Breathe in and come up halfway. Nice long spine, breathe out and sink. Breathe in and come into your chair pose. So hips come back as if you're about to sit down, and again, just allowing that body to float up. Tuck your tail, scoop the belly, press into the heels. One more round of breath. And then as you breathe in, come up to standing, come into your Tadasana. Lovely. Okay. We're going to change the flow slightly. Take a deep breath in, stretch tall, arms up. Breathe out and fold forward. Breathe in and come up halfway. Breathe out and fold forward and step back with your left leg this time. Drop the knee to the floor and flatten the foot. And then we're going to come into a low lunge, but before we move, I want you to, again, to push into both feet, so the top of the back foot, and then pushing those 3 points of contact down into the mat on the front foot. And then I want you to imagine you've got a bolster in between your knees. Squeeze your inner thighs together, and that engages all the muscles in the legs. So you're drawing inwards. Imagine you're trying to push that energy to the center of your body. Your legs are now engaged, which again means you can float the upper body up, light as air, and you've got that stability because you're using all those muscles in the legs. Draw the shoulders down. You can look up or you can look forward, whatever feels comfortable for you. And instead of just dumping that weight forward into the hip, we're going to tilt the pubic bone upwards and scoop the belly in. Nice. Again, a real strong move, quite dynamic. Breath in, breath out, and lower the hands to the mat. And then from here, we're going to just reach back and see if we can lift that back heel towards the hip. And you don't need to touch it like Daniela is. She's flexible, she can reach it. If you can't, you can just lift. So whatever feels right for you. And what we're doing is really opening up across the hip flexor, stretching into the quadricep muscle and preparing for our peak pose, which is going to be dancers today. Deep breath in. Notice how you can open up across the chest, pulling that shoulder back. And then release and bring that hand down to the mat. Step back into your high plank. And you can either go straight to downward facing dog from here, or you can go through your flow. So dropping the knees, lowering yourself to the floor, breathing in into a back bend, filling the lungs with air, and breathing out as you come back up into downward facing dog. Take one round of breath here. And then as you exhale, you're going to lift your left leg, sorry. And then step that left leg in and through. Lovely. Drop that back knee down, flatten the foot. And again, we start off by pushing both feet down into the mat, drawing inwards, so imagining you're squeezing your inner thighs together and then floating the upper body up, tilting the pubic bone, drawing in the belly and easing into that stretch. So remember, lots of strength from your lower body and your core muscles before you come into the stretch. And then release those hands down, and we're going to reach back with the opposite hand towards that foot. And again, it doesn't need to reach. If you can touch it like Daniela is, that's great. If not, just letting it lift off of the floor, and you'll feel that you're strengthening into your quadriceps. So we're getting a nice stretch across hip flexor, opening up across the chest as you reach back. Even if you're reaching towards the foot, really think about lengthening and opening up across that chest, drawing the shoulder blades together. Lovely. And release. And then this time, instead of going through our flow, we lift the back leg. So tuck your toes, lift the back knee, and find a little buoyancy here as you step that back foot forward to meet the front foot. Soften yourself down into Uttanasana, that forward fold. Knees soften, opening up across the back. Deep breath in and come up halfway. Breathe out and sink. Slowly lower yourself down. And then all the way up to standing, finding your Tadasana. Reaching up, palms come together. Breathe out and find that mountain pose. So we've opened up across the hips, the quadriceps. We're going to have a little play around now and see if we can find our dancer's pose. So if we start with a balance. We think about really pressing down through the left foot and bringing the weight out of the right foot. And you might just get to the point where you're lifting your foot off and you're balancing on your toe. Think about the hips being centered, so we're not pushing out into one hip. Stack them, and then slowly begin to lift that knee so it comes level with your hip if you can. So as soon as we balance, you'll find the supporting leg is wobbling slightly. That's great because all the muscles that reach down into your toes, into your ankle, the arch of your foot, up the shin, that's all strengthening. Right up into the glutes, into the buttocks. So if you hold this position, you're still working and you can leave it there. If you feel you want to extend into dancers, what we're going to do now is start to play around with bringing that leg behind you. So the first part of dancers is just starting to understand that counterbalance. So as you bring the leg back even more, you can tip your body forward. And it's a bit like a weebly wobbly or a balance. Now, this back leg you can keep so it's just an inch off of the floor, or you can lift it up and reach back with the same hand as foot and hold onto the foot or the ankle, whatever you find comfortable. The opposite arm's going to reach forward as you begin to lift that back foot away, lifting the knee, keeping the supporting knee slightly softened, and we come into our dancer's pose. Again, you're opening up across the chest. If you fall, don't worry, you just have a little wobble, you play around with it and you have another go. And remember, it's about practice, it's just about the journey. We're not trying to find a perfect pose here. We're trying to do all the strength work that gets you there. So if you want to come up to full dancers, you can. If you want to keep your toe just an inch off the floor, you can. What we're working on is that supporting leg, that balance, drawing the core muscles in and finding your focus to hold the balance. Lovely. So let's try the other side. So we push down through the right, we slowly bring the left leg off the floor and come up, just starting off, bringing that knee as high as your hip. Nice. And then either staying here, and you know that you're working this supporting leg the whole time you're staying here, or you can play around with your balance and come into dancers. So bringing your leg behind you, either leaving it so it's an inch off the floor or holding onto the foot on the outside or the inside. And that counterbalance, so as your leg comes back, your arm comes forward. Drawing your belly in to hold, finding that focal point. So what Daniela's doing is every time she comes down, she's pinpointing something to look at to help with that balance. And it's really important to just enjoy it. It doesn't matter if you come out of the pose like Daniela is, wobble, shake it all around and then have another go. That's what it's about. This part of the practice is just play. Nice. And then when you're ready, just lowering that foot down, coming to Tadasana at the front of the mat and noticing how you feel. So that was a real challenge, real dynamic move. We've done lots of flows to loosen you up. You've then gone into a balance. You've really challenged that supporting leg. So just take a minute to close down your eyes, to think about how your body's feeling and to notice what challenged your beginner's mind there. Were you saying to yourself, I can't do this, I'm falling over, or were you approaching it with curiosity? Okay, we're going to take ourselves down to the mat, so take a deep breath in, stretch nice and tall, breathe out and fold forward one last time. And you're just going to lower your hips to the mat and bring yourself down to seated for me. With your legs out in front, come to Dandasana or stick pose, pressing your heels away, curling your toes back. Nice, drawing your belly in, lifting nice and tall. So from your sternum, imagine there's a golden thread lifting you up to the ceiling, crown of your head lifting up, using all your spine extensors, your core muscles to hold yourself nice and strong, engaging the knees just slightly so you're using your quadriceps. Take a breath in here. And then as you exhale, we're going to fold forward. So soften the knees for me. Allow your body to relax now. Tuck your chin in. We're going to round off the back. Lovely. Bring your attention back to your breath as your belly presses down onto your thighs. Nice. One last round of breath here. We're starting to slow everything down. We're starting to relax the muscles after that peak pose and that fun with dancers. And then slowly come back up when you're ready. Hands come behind you, bend your knees, put your feet flat on the floor and just let your knees go from side to side into a windscreen wiper motion. So we're just loosening out any tension in the lower back, in the hips. And then just slide yourself down onto your back and draw your knees into your chest. And again, that rocking, carry it on here. So you might want to rock from side to side, or might want to rotate the hips and the knees so you're getting a little bit of a massage through your lower back. Go one way and then the other. And then just hugging those knees into the belly and taking your head from side to side as if you're saying no. And we're just getting rid of any tension in the neck and the shoulders. Nice, and bring your head back to center and place those feet flat on the floor. Good, we're going to take it into a short bridge pose. So just allowing your feet to come a little bit closer to your hips, heels towards your hips, and pressing your hips up towards the ceiling, drawing your shoulder blades together, drawing your chin away from your chest. And we're just going to take 3 rounds of breath here. Now you can keep your hands exactly where they are, or you could walk your hands together and link fingers, press your knuckles towards your heels, or you can hold on to the side of your mat and just draw that mat apart. Each time you breathe out, I want you to just press your hips a little bit higher. And on this last exhale, I want you to lower your spine down to the mat. So if you've linked your fingers, unhook them. 1 vertebrae at a time is going to press down, almost like a curve or a wave coming down. Take your feet as wide as the mat and let your knees drop inwards. Bring your attention back to your breath as we really start to let go of the muscles. We really start to slow the breathing down. Ready for our Shavasana. We're settling the spine. And then extend those legs out. Your heels are going to be just slightly wider than hip distance apart. Let your feet drop open to the side. Your hands are just going to come a little space away from the body, so you've got a bit of gap, and your palms face upwards. And just close down your eyes. Take your time to notice your breath. I want you to start to count in for 4 and out for 6. So breathing in for 4, breathing out for 6. And that longer outward breath helps to tell your body you're ready to just rest, relax, and digest. Begin to bring your attention to your room that you're in. Notice the sounds that you can hear. Notice them with a beginner's mind, as if you've only just heard them for the first time. Begin to notice the feel of the floor underneath your body, temperature of the room, the touch of the clothes on your body, on your skin. Bring your attention to your hands and your feet. And now begin to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Take a deep breath in and stretch your arms overhead. Stretch your toes away. Roll onto your right side. Knees soften and your head just rests on your arm. Take a moment of gratitude here. Thank yourself for turning up on the mat today, for watching the video, for challenging yourself to look at things with a beginner's mind. Press yourself up slowly to sitting. Palms come together at your heart centre. And just take a moment to think about what you can be curious about as you step off the mat. Take one last deep breath in. Palms to your forehead. Namaste.
Namaste.
Well done.
Lovely. Thank you so much. Namaste, everybody else.
Namaste. That was a bit challenging in some places.
Yeah. My legs, I feel wobbly.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
that felt really nice. Wobbly in a good way.
Good.
Let us know how you guys are feeling after that.
Yeah, let us know in the comments how it went, and if there's anything you'd like us to add in next time.
Yeah, send us a message.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, message us if you have any questions about the class as well, or yeah, like you say, what you want next week.
Yeah.
But that was our first week of May.
Yes,
Beginner's Mind.
the first start.
Yay.
So watch out for next week's videos and our next theme. And don't forget to subscribe, to like, and to share the video.
And give us a message if you've just come across this video and you want to sign up to our Mindful Moments free course, which will run throughout the whole of May.
And you'll get some other goodies from us. So if you sign up, we'll send you our Moments message. We'll send you our meditation link.
Yeah.
So lots out there. Thank you for watching.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Bye.